favorite district of Lawrence County. It's an honor. And first of all, I want to just thank everybody for being here tonight, for being here for the cause of liberty. We're going to take back our country. And part of the Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, states that laws contrary to our Constitution, to our Bill of Rights, are notwithstanding. Therefore, every time that Rand Paul has stood against the Washington machine, against President Obama, against the elitists, he has stood for the First Amendment when he says, get the government out of our church. He has stood for the Second Amendment, and when he says, allow everyone to get the right to keep and bear arms, and especially our service members. He has stood for the Fourth Amendment when he says, get the NSA off of our phones. You have no right to do what you're doing. And I was so happy that he stood up to Governor Chris Christie last night and said what he said. What they're doing is not efficient or effective. By spying on millions of Americans and not going after specific targets, that's why we have things like the Boston bomber. They let them go. Their objective is not to stop these terrorists. With Rand Paul, we stick to the Constitution, and that's why I am all for Rand Paul. Rand has stood for our 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments when he stood in the face of Obama and the Washington machine and said, you cannot indefinitely detain people without due process. This is something that's been around since 1250, the Magna Carta. So the idea that they would erode this liberty, what they're doing is completely criminal. So Rand Paul is a rock-solid constitutionalist, y'all, and he can take our country back. That's why I'm endorsing Rand Paul for president in 2016. Another thing I want to mention real quickly, Art Laffer, one of Ronald Reagan's economic advisors, is calling Rand's tax plan, his economic plan, spectacular. Because what he does is he eliminates payroll taxes in that. He frees up about $1.3 trillion by eliminating payroll taxes and corporate income taxes. He eliminates the estate tax. He's the only contender that has put forth a serious tax plan that will allow that money to stay in the pockets of working people and for that money to stay in the economy in a free market. So I hope that you will join me and my family and all my friends in voting for Rand Paul, and let's send him to the White House in 2016. I appreciate so much everybody being here today. And without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Representative Mike Pitts.
Thank you, Stewart. And thank all of you for being here today. Thank the clock and the folks here for allowing us to utilize this space. Stewart, up and coming, buddy. A rising star right here in Lawrence County. Folks, I'm blunt and straightforward. I don't know how to be any other way. I learned in the military and I learned as a police officer after it jaded me pretty severely that all men put their pants on the same way. To earn my respect and my admiration is not an easy thing. It takes a little work. I was taught in the military to respect the position and not the man. In this case, it's not just Senator Rand Paul, but Rand Paul himself that I admire and respect. By the way, Senator Robin Webb from Kentucky said, tell you hello. The pundits out there are giving all kind of hard time and credit to the wrong places. A few years ago, I went up against the Speaker of the House of Representatives on an issue, the Fourth Amendment. It was a warrantless search issue. What the bill did was allowed warrantless search of people on probation and parole. If a police officer saw and recognized that individual, he could stop them and search them. Sounds good, right? The problem was, if that person was in the car with you, and a lot of kids made mistakes in their lives and ended up on probation. If they were in the car with their parents riding to church, that car could be stopped because the kid was in the car. Now, once that car is stopped by Terry, you can be searched, everybody in the car can be searched, and the car itself can be searched. That's a warrantless search and a violation of my rights. The only individual last night in the debates that brought up my Bill of Rights was Rand Paul. There's a cancer called Washington that is eating the liberties of you, the individual, and the rights of the states at a rapid pace. There's only one candidate on either side of the aisle that I have watched stand against that cancer. I stood against the speaker. We lost by 1 vote. He asked me, with a balcony full of police officers glaring at a retired police officer at the podium, why did you do that? I said, liberties are eroding fast enough. There's a line in the dirt, and I will not cross it. I will vote to stop anything that invades personal liberty and my freedom. It gives me great pleasure and great honor not only to introduce, but to do something I've never done before, and that's give my public endorsement for presidential candidate Rand Paul.
Thank you, Mike. I really do appreciate your endorsement. Stewart.